night. Members of the platform party and distinguished guests, welcome to our lecture tonight on the Renaissance of Haiti, a template for Caribbean integration. Many of you know that Ms. Nikki Mohan was scheduled to be the Master of Ceremonies at tonight's lecture, but early this morning, Nikki was involved in a small traffic accident. I've been assured that she is okay, but being the trooper that she is, she had the presence of mind to immediately make sure that someone was put in place to fulfill her duties at tonight's event. The show must go on. So my name is Deanne Butchie. I'm the Assistant Dean for Accreditation at FIU's College of Business and a lecturer in the Department of Finance and Real Estate. At 4:53 p.m. on January 12th, I was part of the FIU team led by Provost Wartzak in Santo Domingo for an accreditation visit. We were approximately 200 miles from the epicenter of the disaster in Haiti. Physically felt the quake, while the rest of the world felt it symbolically. The following day, the provost returned to Miami, where together with President Rosenberg, he began mobilizing FIU resources and working with our partners in preparing a response to the catastrophe. Therefore, tonight's topic is near and dear to his heart. So without further ado, I present to you the Provost and Executive Vice President of FIU, Dr. Douglas Wartzak.
Thank you, Deanne. Yeah, I'm very pleased to welcome you all here tonight to the 12th Annual Eric E. Williams Memorial Lecture. And it is with immense pleasure that I welcome the Most Honorable P.J. Patterson to FIU. It's most fitting that we have Jamaica's longest-serving Prime Minister with us this evening to present a lecture named after Trinidad and Tobago's longest-serving Prime Minister. Professor Aquili will give a more extensive introduction of Mr. Patterson, so I will not anticipate that by listing his many achievements. Instead, let me give you an update on some of the things that FIU has been doing relative to the Caribbean. As Deanne noted, first and foremost has been our response to the earthquake in Haiti. And FIU has taken the leadership in the academic community in assisting our fellow academic institution, the University of Haiti, in recovering from that earthquake. President Rosenberg and Rector Henry from the University of Haiti signed an MOU very soon after the earthquake, and a number of our faculty from the College of Engineering, the Robert Stemple School, College of Public Health and Social Work, the Herbert Wertheim College of Medicine, and the Stephen and Dorothea Green Library have gone to Haiti on several visits to lend their expertise in many ways for helping the reconstruction. In addition, our library has worked with our electronic journal and book vendors to allow us to provide access remotely to any of the students from the University of Haiti, so they are able to access our collections and continue with their studies. And finally, through our participation with the Digital Library of the Caribbean, we have helped digitize and preserve the intellectual patrimony of the country. Our Latin American and Caribbean Center recently, in association with and a partnership with the University of Miami Center for Latin American Studies, recently received a Title VI National Resource Center Award. Now, these designations are really the most prestigious designations, along with the $1 million that came with that designation, that for university area studies. So it's a very well-deserved recognition of the quality of the work that's done both at FIU and at University of Miami. In addition to furthering our collaboration between our faculty, it's going to provide resources for enhancing our libraries, for faculty research. It's going to fund language studies in both Creole and Portuguese, and it will fund a visiting professorship right here in the College of Law for a professor whose interest is in Latin American law. Finally, FIU has revamped its undergraduate curriculum through a program called the Global Learning for Global Citizenship. And this is a quality enhancement program whereby every student that graduates from FIU will have taken at least 2 classes with a specific global learning focus. And with these curricular changes and our accompanying co-curricular changes, we anticipate that our students and our graduates will demonstrate a greater appreciation of and understanding of the global issues and particularly the Caribbean issues. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jean Rahir. He's the Director of Africa and African Diaspora Program at FIU. Dr. Rahir received his PhD from Université de Paris X in Nanterre, France. He's best known for his work on the African diaspora in Latin America, particularly in the Andean region. He's completing revisions to a book manuscript on the Afro-Esmeraldian Festival of the Kings in Ecuador, which will be published next year by the University of Illinois Press. And this year, he just had a book published, which was Global Circuits of Blackness, Interrogating the African Diaspora. Professor Rahir.
Thank you, Provost Watzok. And I would like to welcome everyone to this 12th Eric Williams Memorial Lecture. I must say that I'm delighted, and this is for the 3rd time since I was appointed director, to collaborate with Erica Williams, who is the head of the Eric Williams Memorial collection. And so she's probably around here somewhere. And it has been a pleasure for the program and for FIU to collaborate with her in making this lecture series the great event it is in South Florida. So I must as well recognize the founding figure of the Eric Williams Memorial Lecture, which is Dr. Carol Boyce-Davies, who was the director of the African New World Studies. This is how we were called before, when the series was founded and first created some years ago, in the end of the 1990s. I will as well, so Dr. Boyce-Davies now left FIU and she's at Cornell University in the Africana Studies program. I will now recognize some personalities who are among us tonight. I'll begin by recognizing the FIU chair of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Albert Dodson. So perhaps you could give him a round of applause. Then we also have an elected official who is Dr. Philip Stoddard, who is the mayor of South Miami. He is also a faculty here at Florida International University. I don't know if she is around. We have as well, obviously, a number of Caribbean consuls general and deputy consuls general. And they are Mr. Manuel Almanzar from the Dominican Republic, Mr. Ralph Latortue from Haiti, Mr. Alex Jospitre from Haiti, Miss Laura Marie West from Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Garth Lamsey from Trinidad and Tobago, and Miss Sandra Grant Griffith from Jamaica. I must also recognize the former Haiti Minister of Interior, Mr. Paul Magloire, as well as the former Jamaican Ambassador Dudley Thompson and his wife. He told me that he had served when Prime Minister P.J. Patterson was at the head of the government. So the I must as well acknowledge the fact that the lecture series has received a number of proclamations and greetings from the Florida Governor, Charlie Crist, from the US Senator, Bill Nelson, the US Congresswoman, Ileana Ros-Lehtinen, US Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart and Kendrick Meek, Florida State Senator Frederica Wilson, the Florida House of Representatives David Rivera, the mayors and commissioners of Coconut Creek, Coral Gables, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Homestead, Lauderdale Lakes, Lauderhill, Miami, Miami-Dade County, Miramar, Pembroke Pines, and South Miami. I must recognize as well the support of the Haitian organizations Combit for Haiti, the Haitian American Grassroots Coalition, SANTLA. We must also acknowledge the presence of members of the Jamaican American Association of Central Florida, who I was told came by bus. An important group of them are among us tonight. You have realized as well that we are enjoying the presence of Miss Jamaica, she's right there, as well as Miss Teen Jamaica, Florida. Three FIU professors from the Department of History and as well as from the Department of Global and Sociocultural Studies have given credit to students for their attendance tonight. We have as well various media who are broadcasting this lecture. And this is Teleamerica TV Miami, Free One Radio Online, CWN5 Online TV, Heritage Radio in Trinidad and Tobago, WBAI Radio in New York, York University Radio in Canada, and we have been 4 times now, and this is the case as well tonight, featured on the BBC London. We are also featured, I am said, through Streamline and online on the UWI campus in Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago. So after these announcements, I'll just say a few words about the African and African Diaspora Studies program here at FIU, which I have the pleasure to direct. We have a group of core and affiliate faculty who do research in a great diversity of regions on the global stage, both in continental Africa, but also in the United States, Latin America, the Caribbean, and Europe. We also have a number of very smart and well-performing students, undergraduate and graduate. We offer an undergraduate certificate in African and African Diaspora Studies, a graduate certificate in African and African Diaspora Studies, an MA degree, and we have for a year or two, 3 combined MA and PhD programs. One with the department, the graduate program. It's an arrangement with the Department of History, the Department of Global and Sociocultural Studies. That one should be completed soon. And it will bring about 3 majors for the PhD, 1 in geography, 1 in sociology, and 1 in anthropology. And the third degree we have, the combined degree we have, is with the graduate program in international relations. We as well offer a study abroad program during at the beginning of the summer session that goes to Senegal and the Gambia. We are as well in the process of developing, in collaboration with our Latin American and Caribbean Center here at FIU, a study abroad program in Afro-Latin America. And that one will be offered for the first time this summer, during Summer B. And it will bring students to Ecuador and Brazil. So they will have the opportunity to experience two very different national contexts within which Afro-Latino communities and social movements have been developing and active living. So, without further ado, I will then indicate to you that although Dr. Ken Furton, who is the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, is present tonight, he has ceded his place at the podium to our beloved the director of the School of International and Public Affairs, who is Dr. Stack, Dr. John Stack. So please.
Oh, yeah, right.
I always enjoy being introduced by Dr. Ray here, and thank you tonight. On behalf of the School of International and Public Affairs, I would like to extend a warm welcome to the Honorable P.J. Patterson, Jamaica's longest-serving Prime Minister. He was in office from 1992 to 2006. Mr. Patterson has played the role of an international statesman for decades, a leading role in the United Nations, the Commonwealth of Nations, the Non-Aligned Movement, and CARICOM. Currently, he is the Caribbean Community Special Representative for the reconstruction of Haiti, and it is indeed an honor for us in the School of International and Public Affairs to welcome him as the 12th Distinguished Annual Eric E. Williams Memorial Lecture. In thinking about the introduction for tonight, I reflected on the meaning of Eric Williams' life and legacy and his intellectual contribution really to the study of globalization. And in that process of thinking about Dr. Williams and his legacy, I have to tell you that a sense of interdependence of fate is a fundamental dimension of Eric Williams's contribution, and nothing could be expressed more fully or more completely than the solidarity in which we have with the people of Haiti and the people throughout the Caribbean. So tonight, I want to welcome you on behalf of the College of Arts and Sciences and the School of International and Public Affairs. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
It now gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the Honorable Laura Marie West. She is the Consul General of my home country, Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you.
Due recognition has been given to the people who we would like to recognize being here tonight, and I would like to take this opportunity to recognize them as well, and to add to that list people who have contributed to the event as well, Mr. Philip St. Hill of Barbados and Ms. Joanna Ross of Trinidad and Tobago. So could we also recognize them? Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Consulate General of Trinidad and Tobago, and because I am in a sense representing the Consular Corps on behalf of all the Consuls General, it is my distinct pleasure to address you on the occasion of the 12th Annual Florida International University Eric Williams Memorial Lecture. In particular, it is my honor to acknowledge and extend another warm welcome to the most honorable P.J. Patterson, former Prime Minister of Jamaica and Special Representative of the Heads of the Caribbean Community on Haiti. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of tonight's lecture, the Renaissance of Haiti, requires us striving for excellence. And we know that excellence is something that is well known in the Caribbean. We have excelled in sports and culture. in politics, and in confronting great odds. And it is in confronting these challenges and in overcoming them that we have created an undeniable aspect of our history. In fact, the ability to rebound and to forge ahead in the face of daunting odds is our legacy to succeeding generations of Caribbean people. And therefore, who we are, where we have come from, the struggles we have endured, and what we have achieved must be preserved, or we risk losing our common purpose and identity. It is within this tightly wound fabric that our collective Caribbean resilience resides. And so, it is particularly noteworthy that in the context of the very small size of the Caribbean community, comprising for the most part small island states, that we have been able to achieve in the manner that we have. Accordingly, initiatives that seek to remind us of our glorious history, the importance of safeguarding this precious legacy, and that remind us that we are still our brother's keeper, must be supported. The Eric Williams Memorial Lecture Series and other initiatives of this kind do just that, and they are important components of the Caribbean fabric. My hope is that such will endure. So that by way of example, you will recall that this year began with a global gasp as our sister state of Haiti was devastated by an earthquake that literally destroyed the capital city of Port-au-Prince, the effects of which reverberated around the world and left in its wake tremendous loss of Haitian life and unprecedented infrastructural damage. The road ahead for Haiti will be long, as it will be difficult. But as I am sure that tomorrow the sun will rise, I too have no doubt that Haiti will recover from this catastrophe. And this too will become part of our rich legacy. Why? Because we are a resilient people. And as such, this legacy is our birthright. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Laura Murray West, for those inspiring words. I would like to now introduce Dr. Andrea Quealy. Dr. Quealy is an assistant professor in African and Africana diaspora studies, global and sociocultural studies, and she will introduce the Most Honorable Mr. P.J. Patterson. Thank you.
Good evening. How's everybody feeling? Excited to be here? Good. I also would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you, and thank you for coming to this 12th annual Eric Williams Memorial Lecture. I would especially like to thank Erica Williams, who's probably around here doing what she does, and Dr. Carol Boyce Davies, and all of those at FIU and beyond for their commitment to this event. It is so very important to remember and to honor Eric Williams, not simply because he was a brilliant thinker, but because he used his considerable talents to change people's lives. He certainly changed mine, insofar as there is my life and consciousness, BCS and ACS. That's before capitalism and slavery and after capitalism and slavery. Dr. Eric Williams didn't just write history, he really changed its course. And one of the ways that he did this was through his dedication to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and to the Caribbean as a whole. Indeed, one of the reasons why it is so fitting that the Most Honorable P.J. Patterson is our keynote speaker for this year that began with such a cataclysmic event whose aftershocks really have yet to cease, is that he shares Eric Williams' commitment not only to the island of his birth, but to the region as a whole, and indeed to the entire global community. Born Percival Noel James Patterson in St. Andrew, Jamaica, the Most Honorable P.J. Patterson came from somewhat humble beginnings to become the longest-serving Prime Minister in Jamaica's history. He attended Calabar High School and the University of the West Indies at Mona, going on to earn a law degree from the London School of Economics, and passed the bars in both Britain and Jamaica. He entered politics early on as a party organizer for the PNP, the People's National Party of Jamaica, serving in various posts until 1992 when Michael Manley stepped down and he was appointed Prime Minister. He went on to win re-election an unprecedented 3 times, stepping down in 2006. And now, having retired from politics, though I think we know that do politicians ever really retire? Here he is. He's been called the unofficial cultural ambassador of Jamaica. In fact, the Most Honorable P.J. Patterson, also dubbed the Fresh Prince after American star Will Smith, something I didn't know, has been called many things. And being that he's a politician and therefore subject to brutal critique, some of them, of course, I can't really mention in polite company. And I do have to say that Jamaicans are most creative in their use of language, as you all know, and really can't nobody give you a cuss out like a Jamaican. Now, maybe some of you Trinidadians, differ, and we can have a contest afterwards, I don't know, but they can choose their words and their looks and suck their teeth in a way that nobody else can. So in any event, in preparing my remarks, I wanted to really get underneath all of the good and bad press and all of the honors, though they are remarkable and they are numerous. And look at what really has this man done to change lives. What is his legacy? So I poked around, as we anthropologists tend to do, and I did some informal interviews, and I got some opinions about our speaker. So this is what stands out. The Most Honorable P.J. Patterson has been a very strong supporter of public education, especially of tertiary education. To this end, under his watch, the largest non-debt portions of successive national budgets were allocated towards this sector. He played a key role in restoring the Jamaica National Youth Service and created the National Commission on Science and Technology in 1993, being the first to directly link Jamaica's science and technology initiatives to the nation's economic development efforts. In addition, he oversaw massive investment in infrastructure projects, including a new island-wide highway system. He supported programs to assist Jamaica's most vulnerable populations, and took a very strong stand against the election-related political violence which had plagued the country. And most relevant to his talk this evening is his invaluable contribution to regional cooperation and integration. The Most Honorable P.J. Patterson has been a strong presence in the United Nations, the Non-Aligned Movement, the African, Caribbean, and Pacific Group, the Association of Caribbean States, Food and Agriculture Organization, and many, many others. He's chaired the Group of 15 Developing Nations and the Caribbean Community, otherwise known as CARICOM. Indeed, he played a seminal role in the process that marked the transition from the first steps in integration of the Caribbean region to the founding of CARIFTA and its evolution into CARICOM, being a tireless advocate for a borderless regional economy through the CSME, the Caribbean Single Market Economy, which came to fruition in 2006. So having been instrumental in the inclusion of Haiti in CARICOM, in January of 2010, the Most Honorable P.J. Patterson was selected to be the CARICOM representative on a coordinating committee to organize an international conference on the reconstruction of Haiti, and is now, as has been said, CARICOM's special representative for the country's reconstruction. So when P.J. Patterson says, out of many one, I don't think he's speaking of just Jamaicans. No, he's speaking of all of the Caribbean, to those living within and outside of the region's shores. So it is for this and all of these reasons that I invite you to join me in welcoming the Most Honorable P.J. Patterson to deliver his talk entitled Renaissance of Haiti, a Template for Caribbean Integration.
Provost of the university, deans, directors and members of the faculty, consuls general, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, students. I'm not one that is easily intimidated, but when I got the first letter from Erica Williams, pointing out the formidable array of previous distinguished presenters, I began to have an initial flutter. When that was followed by a letter from Dr. Reher saying expressly that this lecture was intended to be a purely scholarly evening of thoughtful analysis on current topics of interest, I really hesitated as to whether I could accept this invitation. But despite all of this, there were some compelling reasons why I eventually capitulated, recognizing that I really had no choice. Firstly, I regard this invitation as a personal honor as we celebrate the life and work of an intellectual giant and an outstanding leader of the Caribbean, Dr. Eric Williams. I still regard as one of the highlights in my own life the fortune of inviting to the Mona campus Dr. Eric Williams and presiding over the lecture he gave there in 1955. I cannot forget his spellbinding oratory, which captivated a grossly overflowing audience of students and lecturers without the benefit of a single note. I cannot match his erudition, but the plus side is that as he spoke for 2 hours and 10 minutes, I promise you I will not try to emulate his length. It was during that Mona lecture, Dr. Williams first announced on regional Caribbean soil his intention to return home and launch the People's National Movement. From the University of the West Indies, he moved to the University of Woodford Square, where he innovatively and ingeniously treated the masses to higher education free of charge. The second reason is that in 2006, I had the honor of presenting the 20th Eric Williams Lecture in Trinidad and Tobago. I think that gives me the unique distinction of being the first to take what in horse racing terms they call the twin double. I spoke then about the promise of Caribbean unity, and I never avoid an opportunity of speaking about that because it is a cause in which I passionately believe. Thirdly, there can be no doubt that the magnitude of the disaster which befell the nation of Haiti 9 months ago is one which demands dialogue of the kind in which we seek to engage today. How do we react to the plight of a nation which heroically freed itself from the shackles of slavery and the yoke of colonialism more than 2 centuries ago? It is fitting that the theme of this evening's event is the reconstruction that is taking place in Haiti. As a quintessential Caribbean man, Dr. Williams would have readily recognized the profound opportunity it offers to change inexorably the equation for the integration of the wider Caribbean. Hence the choice of this topic, the Renaissance of Haiti, a template for Caribbean integration. The January 12th devastating earthquake in Haiti plunged the Caribbean, if not the entire world, into a state of despair exceeded only by the trauma felt by the people of Haiti themselves. While the global community commendably rallied to Haiti's aid, the overarching regional and global sentiment nevertheless seemed to be, here we go again, confronted with Haiti's insurmountable problems. The location of Haiti within a discourse of the problematic Black Caribbean masks a historical truth that Haiti was a symbol of Black liberation, a rich nation that developed France, but one impoverished by global economic and political forces to become among the poorest nations in our hemisphere and the world today. At the meeting in Montreal last January, as special representative of CARICOM, I spoke on moving beyond rehabilitation from the catastrophic earthquake to the imperative of building a new Haiti, a renaissance. Now everyone is talking about how to rebuild Haitians' shattered lives and doing so within the context of a Haitian renaissance. An overarching sentiment expressed over and over again is that as Haiti tries to recover from the catastrophic earthquake of January 12, 2010, nothing short of rebirth, rejuvenation, redevelopment, physical reconfiguration will be acceptable. Several world leaders have spoken in terms of finally changing the fortunes of Haiti. The Brazilian Foreign Minister Celso Amorim called the post-January period a chance for Haiti's second independence. Ban Ki-moon spoke of wholesale national renewal, a sweeping exercise in nation building on a scale and scope not seen in generations. But I often wonder, what do others who speak of a renaissance mean by it? I suspect that the term means different things to different people. Obviously, no one means a cultural renaissance of the same type that took place in Europe from the 14th to the 17th century. Haiti still remains world-renowned for its culture, its art and music, which has grown stronger over the ages and has outlived the impact of countless severe natural disasters. For some, it means an architectural infrastructural renaissance, a rebuilding of destroyed buildings, including the presidential palace and the cathedral. If it was a divine intervention, there was no partiality. It means the removal of shanty towns. Others talk in terms of a regeneration, a return to sustaining democracy, peace, and security, an absence of dictatorship, due respect for human life, and the return to the dignity of all Haitians. For us in the Caribbean, it means throughout all that we seek to do, we must first and foremost ensure a rebirth of hope and self-confidence among Haitians, grounded in firm historical evidence of a strong and resilient people who threw off the French colonial yoke, who defeated the mighty forces of Napoleon to cement their place in history as the first free Black republic treading an alternative socio-political and economic path. It means a rebuilding of institutions of health, education, and social services, the building of a strong, competitive economy, a revitalized Haiti that is sustainable, just, and equitable. As brilliant a historian as he was, Dr. Williams would have insisted on grounding this lecture by a quick reminder of what Haiti taught the world. Let us share a short reflection about what Haiti achieved. On the night of August 22, 1791, the enslaved in Haiti, led by Jamaican-born bookman Dutty, embarked on one of the greatest revolutions in world history. He was joined by rebel leaders from the plantations throughout the central parts of the northern area. At first, Toussaint, who worked as a coachman for the manager on the Breda plantation, kept in touch from his home with Bookman, Jean-Francois, and Bissou. Bookman was killed early in the revolution, but Toussaint, L'Ouverture, and able leaders like Dessalines and Christophe succeeded him and led the enslaved people to victory. By 25th August, over 100 sugar properties had been destroyed, and by the 30th, this number had risen to over 200. By the end of 1798, they had defeated the English. The Spanish had withdrawn earlier, but the French would not give up. When the French tried to restore slavery, the black and colored worked together to resist the invaders. With Toussaint removed from the scene, the leadership fell to Dessalines. Napoleon sent 40,000 troops into the colony, but they could not regain control. By May 1803, they were retreating, beaten and disgraced by the black and colored soldiers. The Europeans were driven out of the country. Slavery was not restored, and the natives were back in full command. Freedom by determined black people in one part of the Americas inspired a whole continent to armed struggle. When Napoleon's troops and those of the English and Spanish, which had the same mission, were eventually defeated by the emancipated blacks, they became free citizens as the independent state of Haiti was proclaimed on January 1, 1804. The world should remember that Haitians were not always poor people to be rescued. In the age of mercantilism, the first phase of globalization, Haitian commodity production and the compensation extracted from the country in 1825 enriched the coffers of France and allowed it to become a world power. Haiti was France's pearl of the Antilles, the richest slave colony in the Caribbean in the 18th century. Its wealth was important to economic and social development of France. It made up about 35% of France's foreign trade. It provided the French upper classes with tropical goods and offered everyone cheaper sugar and coffee. But Haiti was not just content to cement its own freedom from slavery and colonialism in 1804. The passing of emancipation legislation and the consolidation of freedom within the Constitution sent shock waves across the various slave regimes. Planters, fearful of losing their bases of power and wealth elsewhere, tightened their hold on the colonies, even capitalizing on the gap in the world sugar market created by Haitian cessation of sugar cultivation. But the Haitian Revolution was a spark which inspired others to intensify their fight for freedom. Its repercussions range from the council chambers of the great powers to slave quarters in Virginia and Brazil, and most points in between, from the world commodity markets to the imagination of poets. When Toussaint L'Ouverture lay imprisoned in a dungeon, William Wordsworth, the great English Romantic poet, implored him to live and take comfort. Thou hast left behind powers that will work for thee, air, earth, and skies. There is not a breathing of the common wind that will forget thee. Thou hast great allies. Thy friends are exaltations, agonies, and love, and man's unconquerable mind. Leaders in the countries of the Caribbean who fought against the oppressive system of slavery were not only inspired by Haiti, but were often provided with logistical and military support as well. The great Simon Bolivar launched his campaign against Spain for the independence of Venezuela and other Spanish colonies on the mainland of South America from Haiti. The support he received under Alexander Petion's presidency was on the understanding that the slaves in Venezuela would be set free as Bolivar's campaign for national liberation from Spain succeeded. Haiti, for its inspiration and support to the struggle for independence of other countries in the hemisphere, what was its reward by imperial powers? The imposition of a vicious plan and punitive strategy of international isolation and trade blockades. Haiti rescued both people, granted Haitian citizenship to fugitives from slavery elsewhere, and yet inspired other emancipation movements in the hemisphere. And yet, in the end, Haiti enjoyed no other circle of belonging, no French Caribbean circle, no French Commonwealth, no natural mother or siblings. How can this generation and succeeding generations ever repay that immense debt? Only one way: by bringing Haiti into the family to which it belongs. Haiti and CARICOM states share a relatively small geographic space, the Caribbean Sea. Haiti is Jamaica's second closest neighbor, sharing a sea border, the Mona Passage. It is also one of the closest neighbors to the Bahamas. We share common vulnerabilities to the ravages of nature. Instability in Haiti spells instability in the Caribbean. Social and economic unrest in Haiti spells trouble for the entire region. We have no choice now. We stand or fall together as one Caribbean. In 1997, at Montego Bay, CARICOM heads of government admitted Haiti to the Conference of Heads of Government, the highest decision-making body, and all the policy-making institutions. It was a deliberate attempt to support the process of democracy in Haiti and to bring Haiti out of the state of international isolation in which it had languished for so long, and reflecting the determination to build a circle of hope and strength around our oldest nation state. And so the various activities of CARICOM in dealing with the aftermath of the January earthquake are not just a matter of historical sentiment or an opportune humanitarian response. They are an imperative arising from the current mutual reality that Haiti is now a full and equal member of the CARICOM family. Haiti requires and deserves unprecedented levels of support from the international community. But what must remain a cardinal feature along the pathway to development is that the government and people of Haiti must be the major protagonist in the process of reconstruction. The long history of interventions and failed programs of external policy prescriptions imposed on Haiti have only served to stultify progress in Haiti. If we repeat them now, once again, they will certainly fail. And so the recovery process must be driven by Haiti and permit ownership by the people of Haiti. The action plan for Haiti's national recovery and development, which was prepared by Haiti with the assistance of technical experts from the UN and international agencies, has now been formally adopted by the international community in New York as the framework on which we move forward. The plan has identified 4 broad priority areas for focus. Territorial building, which includes the identifying, planning and managing new development centers. It includes decentralization and reducing the overcongestion of the capital city of Port-au-Prince. Secondly, economic rebuilding, aimed at modernizing the components of the agricultural sector, developing a professional construction sector, manufacturing, and small industries. There has to be social rebuilding, embracing health, education, and other related areas. There must be institutional rebuilding. Over 80% of the administrative buildings were destroyed. The loss of human capital has served to further erode pulverized institutional capacity. Haiti, although a member of the community, has not yet subscribed to the Caribbean single market and economy, which is something which envisages a wider integration process. The President of Haiti has made it clear that the planning of the development must be within the framework of the integration process and thereby enable its effective participation in the CSME. The scale and the scope of the reconstruction and the development effort are huge. This allows the community and indeed the wider Caribbean to collaborate and cooperate in a range of areas. It also allows for planning and execution in a manner which can be impactful and visible for the Haitian people to realize the real benefit of regional cooperation. At the heart of this strategy is the creation of new centers or poles of development. 8 development zones have been identified. These poles will require simultaneous multi-sector planning involving economic sectors such as agriculture, agro-industry, light manufacturing, energy, tourism, housing, social infrastructure, and facilities for education and health, as well as cultural and sporting, and of course, transportation. The action plan requires a tremendous exercise in governance. The state has to be put in a position to pass and monitor the laws, norms, and regulations that will ensure transparency and accountability in the use of available resources. And if that is to be achieved, the institutional capacity of the state must be strengthened. We in CARICOM see our capacity as being part and parcel of Haiti's own national capacity. As a region, we have the skills, the talent, and relevant experience, which we are confident can make a positive difference in the rebuilding process. And we are adequately geared to share competent staff in areas such as public sector management, financial controls and accountability, establishment of standards, building codes, land reform, security enhancement, and the dissemination of information to the citizenry in accordance with the mandate of our heads last July. Early in the 70s, Haiti provided 90% of its food from local production. By the end of the century, it was importing more than 42% of its food supplies and using 80% of its export earnings to pay for that imported food. It had begun to reflect robust growth immediately prior to the earthquake of January 12th. And fortunately, it was not too badly affected, and it continues to perform. I think we should all applaud the group of Haitian farmers and peasant organizations which in a recent protest are insisting that the nation never revert to a state of food sub-dependency. We have to find a way of buying the produce from local farmers instead of importing all the foods which need to be supplied as part of the prolonged relief requirements. The strategy should be to purchase supplies for food aid from domestic sources and thereby ensure food security, provide jobs, boost exports, and encourage rural development. CARICOM has made available its capacity and experience to improve quality, reduce losses, strengthen infrastructure, extend research, enhance value added in the agricultural chain, and thereby strengthen the institutional capacity of small farmers and their support institutions. Haiti has a lot to offer in the area of tourism. The broader infrastructural needs are going to be required to service the industry, including sea and airports. They are going to need substantial rebuilding, and they require significant investments. CARICOM tourism entities are working with Haiti in the development of regional tourism packages to assist the sector to expand. Given its geographic proximity to Haiti, we regard Cuba as a major partner in such an undertaking. The disaster of January 12th resulted in the destruction of private and corporate property valued at $5.5 billion, accounting for 70% of the total loss. Medium and small-sized businesses, including the informal sector, were severely affected. The end game has to be the emergence and growth of a dynamic, competitive, and inclusive private sector, substantially owned by Haitian business persons who are genuinely committed to the building of an economy which is modern, diversified, and strong, as the action plan stipulates. Haiti is potentially the largest market in the CSME. It enjoys special access to key external markets. We have identified several constraints which will have to be overcome to allow for effective CARICOM joint ventures. 3 deserve special mention. The absence of a mechanism to facilitate the partnering of Haitian private sector entities, investors, with their counterparts in the rest of the community. Inadequate export credit financing. The absence of direct air and sea links between Haiti and the rest of CARICOM and Haiti, and some potential third markets in Latin America, and the consequential high costs and delays of alternate routes. We are working on that. And included in that, we are seeking to establish a special CARICOM Haiti fund for supporting regional private sector companies, which we believe will require about $1 billion of capital. It will take into account facilities which are already being established by the government of Spain, the IDB, and private donors. The second meeting of that technical group that is working to finalize the arrangements for this fund will be convened in Kingston in another week so that the fund can become operational. All of this represents an exciting scenario for those who advocate a new strategy which will reflect the startling changes that are unfolding in the global economy. Centuries ago, Francis Bacon asserted that knowledge is power. No one can dare to question that in the era of technology. We have to ensure the building of human capital, and that means a system of education which guarantees access to all children and offers vocational and university education to meet the demands of economic modernization. In this area, the Caribbean community is already making a major contribution. One of the most famous sayings of Dr. Eric Williams was, "To educate is to emancipate." He would have been pleased to learn that the University of the West Indies, where he served as Pro-Chancellor, has, under the guidance of its current Vice-Chancellor, Professor Nigel Harris, given full support in developing a plan of assistance and partnership through scholarships and student exchange. We know very well how catastrophic was the damage which the universities suffered. Some mention has been made about that. We have to be engaged in rebuilding the universities as soon as possible and developing creative forms of international collaboration, including student placement in other regional institutions. And here I would like to commend Florida International University for its important offer of assistance to the State University of Haiti. There is a unique UWI initiative led by Dr. Matthew Smith from the Mona campus. The early initiative is to provide immediate assistance through scholarships to Haitian students, but it will serve to bridge the gap between the Francophone and the Anglophone Caribbean. We now have students from Haiti in St. Augustine and in Mona. One of the things that Dr. Williams said in that 1955 lecture, which still resonates in my mind, is the best prospect for the transformation of Caribbean society is in changing the mindset and expanding the mental and psychological horizons of our young people throughout the region. I believe that what is being done in the field of education will enable this. The students that are in Jamaica and Trinidad will return to Haiti next year, more knowledgeable of their disciplines and richer for the opportunity of having lived in another Caribbean island. They will know more about our patties, roti, reggae, and soca, but I believe they will also teach us how to dance the merengue a bit better. And we expect that some of these students who return to Haiti are not only going to move into various professional activities, but they are also going to be participating in the democratic process of rebuilding a new Haiti. And of course, it will also serve to break down the barriers of language which we have inherited from our colonial masters. One word for the diaspora. If we are to ensure that out of the rubble will rise a new Haiti, the skills and dynamic energies of the diaspora must be fully mobilized. And when I refer to diaspora, I'm speaking of the entire Caribbean diaspora, from Haiti and whatever other member state from which they originate. Haiti's challenges are our challenges. As we seek to build a new Haiti, we also seek to foster the growth of each and every one of our territories in the Caribbean. Every Caribbean person needs to be involved in this Haitian Renaissance of which we speak. You have already made significant contributions in the relief effort, but now is the time to take it to a higher level. The remittances that you have been sending over the years can also be used to become a significant source of investment for the social and economic benefit of the country. they can provide a stake in our membership of the nation to which we will always belong. Members of the diaspora possess skills at the very highest levels and in almost every area of endeavor. You, if you get involved, will have the joy and satisfaction of knowing that we collectively created something for ourselves which is meaningful to each and every one of us. People are now fond of quoting the Chinese. They say, when confronted with a crisis, it is too good an opportunity to waste. Let us extend that aphorism. The devastation of January 12th in Haiti was so catastrophic that the opportunities it unleashed are virtually incalculable. What we know for sure is that we cannot return to the Haiti which existed on the morning of January 12th. We are certain that our goal must be to ensure a renaissance of Haiti that accords with the dreams of those who fought for their freedom over 200 years ago. Dr. Williams understood well that before the arrival of the European colonizers in our Caribbean Sea, the Tainos, Caribs, and Arawaks defied the stormy waves that separate us as they paddled in their cottonwood canoes from one island to another. His erudition and dedication to the cause of Caribbean integration would have led him to urge that we seize this unique opportunity to advance a new momentum for Caribbean integration, to have the Caribbean community serve as advocates for Haiti in the international community and as full partners in the building of a better and brighter Haiti, even after the sensationalism disappears. He would further argue that the reconstruction efforts in Haiti can also serve as a catalyst for economic growth and functional cooperation. I believe Haiti can unlock the door to ensure that Caribbean integration moves forward on the basis of unleashing our creative skills, improving productivity, and enhancing the quality of life. It was the great Frederick Douglass who said in a speech in Chicago on January 2nd, 1893, when the black sons of Haiti struck for freedom, they built better than they knew. Their swords were not drawn simply for themselves. They were linked and interlinked with their race and striking for their freedom. They struck for the freedom of every black man in the world, he said to prolonged applause. He continued, it is said of ancient nations that each has its special mission in the world and that each has taught the world some important lesson. The Jews taught the world a religion. The Greeks taught the world philosophy and beauty. The Romans taught the world jurisprudence. Among these large bodies, he said, the little community of Haiti, anchored in the Caribbean Sea, has had her mission in the world. She has taught the world the danger of slavery and the value of liberty. In this respect, she has been the greatest of all our modern teachers, he concluded. I say, it is high time for Haiti once again to be the trailblazer and finally emerge from its long and arduous struggle to reclaim its pristine glory. But no longer will they bear the burden alone. CARICOM is providing that protective shield which will protect them from the buffeting tides that will perpetuate their pride and dignity as a people. The Caribbean community is determined to play a defining role as we seek to reclaim our history, to fashion our own culture, and most importantly, to guarantee that final emancipation, one which is iconic symbolic, political, economic, psychological, and spiritual, and thereby shape our own destiny as one triumphant Caribbean people. Thank you.
I think you will all agree with me that it is impossible to know where we're going unless we can recognize from where we've come. And please let us have another round of applause to the most honorable P.J. Patterson. He has given us a lesson in history, and he has awakened the civic engagement part of us. Last night, at a function to recognize his contribution to tonight's lecture series, the Most Honorable P.J. Patterson noted that Miami is a Caribbean city where members from all the various Caribbean countries live and work together in harmony. I would like to add to that statement that many of us also educate here in Miami, and we're educators, and we are willing to be educated, and I certainly think we've been educated tonight. Thank you again. Look around you. FIU is a microcosm of Miami. The College of Business also has a very special relationship with Jamaica since we've been offering our executive MBA program for more than 10 years there. So I would like to extend a special thank you from the College of Business. I would now like to open up this part of the program to questions from the audience. There are volunteers around the room with microphones, so please come to the aisles and they will give you a microphone. Okay, I'd like to recognize the lady here for the first question. Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Patterson, I'd like to pose a question as to the article written in the papers. You have focused on mobility, the Haitian mobility, but you have not stressed the point of Haitian versus Haitian in Haiti. And the national regime cannot take care of the people when the Haitians are pouring in by the millions in the Dominican Republic. I consider that a national shame. I was there in November. You must focus on social mobility and not going back to the past. The past will not help the Haitians. We are living in a world today where we need one another. We are heading for to globalize the world and not to nationalize. Yes, we do have national regime. Haitian national regime is not capable of taking the people. For a long, long time, many, many decades, and I kindly ask that you may focus on that point. And social mobility and intergenerational mobility.
I never regarded it as being within my remit to prescribe the economic or social policies of the government of Haiti for the people of Haiti. What I have spoken to is an action plan prepared by the people of Haiti through their government with technical support. The plan itself covers virtually all the matters which were raised in that question as to what needs to be done in terms of social mobility, including the education, the provision of health, the social conditions, the environment considerations, and the physical facilities which are required, the provision of water, the provision of shelter, how to deal with environmental problems. In addition to everything else, there was a time limit. If you want to have a discussion, as you're entitled to have, on the policies that are being pursued by the government of Haiti, I suspect that the FIU or some other organization of Haitians in Miami would be very pleased to make that possible. I would say just one thing, since you mentioned the Dominican Republic in the course of your question. We know the history between Haiti and the Dominican Republic. But I must say that the government and people of the Dominican Republic responded promptly, responded generously, and responded with a neighborly feeling, and certainly has been central to some of the recovery efforts. And again, I go back, perhaps out of this disaster, there's a possibility of a new beginning.
Got a question over here?
Yes, my name is Yves Renaud, and we're for Island TV. You spoke about Haiti reconstruction. As a member of the board, the reconstruction board, to a full renaissance for Haiti, can you extend on any plan you have seen about removing those people, 1.3 million people under the tents, and how long it will take to remove them from the rain, from the heat, 110 degree over there, and how long it will take according to the plan that you've seen so far?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I regard three things as being top priority right now. The first one is removing the rubble. And this is so for a number of reasons. I believe as long as the rubble is there, the risk of health hazards is very considerable, because we don't know still what lies underneath that rubble, number one. Number two, you can't do any rebuilding in those areas until the rubble is moved. But number three, psychologically, seeing it there is almost paralyzing to people in their mental horizons. It's taking much longer than many of us would have liked. The next thing is the provision of shelter. It's a very serious problem. very extensive. I had feared, and I'm still not overcome my concern with the hurricane season and the danger of flooding. We have to give thanks that Haiti has not suffered from excessive rainfall to which it has been subject in the past. The moving of these people is something that the IHRC has been giving serious attention. It involves a variety of building options because the scale of it is so extensive that it can't be done simply by just getting a few groups involved, although the more groups you can get started and the sooner the better. They have received a number of proposals, some for shelter, some for medium and longer term relocation. And I'm sure you would have read that President Clinton, who is a co-chair of the IHRC, visited Haiti, and the people have made very clear how urgent it is for this relocation to take place. The IHRC has already improved a number of projects which would make it possible for the relocation to begin. I am certainly not going to commit myself at this stage to a timeline. I am certainly making those inquiries to satisfy myself that it is being done with dispatch. And then the third thing to which I believe importance has to be attached is putting the children back in school. Because you run the risk of setting back a whole cohort of children from educational opportunity and advancement unless the school system is not just restored, but you really need something that is far more extensive and far-reaching, especially at the basic infant level. Efforts are being made to address that. The estimate is that it is going to cost just about the whole education sector, probably will be costing you $2 billion from basic through to tertiary. The IDB has been asked by the president to make this one of their priority areas, and they are working with other donor countries and with other agencies that might assist in that regard.
Honorable.
Just a minute. There's a question up there? No?
Hi, thank you. I wanted to yield to the young lady, but I'll go. To the Honorable P.J. Patterson, we are very pleased to have you here in our community. We spoke a little bit about history, and a quick reminder here where we are today in Miami-Dade County. We spoke of the Taínos, and in their memory, I have to remind you that this is a place where they call Bimini, where the Calusa Indians and the Tequestas lived before Ponce de Leon and before Columbus came over. Talking about Haiti, land of the Taínos as well, I am a bit perplexed. I know that the Prince Charles Foundation is helping with the rebuilding and design of Port-au-Prince. Now there is a concern as an alumnus of FIU from the School of Engineering and Design as an urban and environmental system planner, I haven't seen anything yet addressing the issue of drainage for Port-au-Prince. And as you can tell from the watersheds and countless problems, I am sure that somebody from the foundation will make it a living legacy. But have you heard anything, or do you know anything of the drainage?
Yeah,
for Port-au-Prince?
the plan is very extensive. It deals with things relating to drainage, environmental control, the reforestation programs, and it's all available on a website. So I would really strongly suggest that people who are interested in contributing and knowing what is happening, go on the website, get that information, look on the sectors in which you have a very special interest, and we really need to have professionals with those competencies engaged in helping on what is going to be required for an irrigation network, a road network, the bridges, the whole electricity requirements of a new developing Haiti. The action plan is a complete document that sets out what has to be done in each of these areas.
Hi, good evening. I have a question. I don't know if you'd be able to answer it. One of the things you mentioned was this move back to agriculture. And if we do give farmers the things they need to farm, how would this affect the competition from outsiders of Haiti? Because that was one of the factors that led to its decline in the first place. And you mentioned also the help of Cuba. And we know how the West, including America, views Cuba. And if Cuba does decide to help, how would that affect other nations?
Let me answer you very simply. I mentioned it, and the plan expands on it. The food policy has to give a primacy to domestic production, and that includes what you can import, not just in terms of the tariffs which exist, but what, for example, in terms of dealing with the food relief effort, you allow to come in, even if it is being brought in at no cost to the Haitian government, but it is a possible cost and to the detriment of the agricultural farmer in Haiti. And that is why, at a certain point in time, the Haitian government has been moving to reduce the reliance on imported food, even in this moment of crisis, and to encourage the farmers to produce, and the whole market system has to be allowed to facilitate that. In respect of Cuba, I'd just say two things. When I was asked by CARICOM to be their special representative, I said at all the international meetings that I attended, CARICOM is insisting that everyone who has the will and the capacity to assist Haiti must be allowed to do so without any other geostrategic considerations being brought into play. And that was accepted. And I go further. At a meeting in Santo Domingo, President Clinton was heard to say that there is at least one issue on which Haiti, Venezuela, Cuba, and the USA and CARICOM see eye to eye, and that is all have to be involved in support for Haiti. In respect of Cuba, I think, even at the risk of saying so in Miami, the help that Cuba has given to the health sector in Haiti before the earthquake, during the earthquake, and since the earthquake is more than can be paid in the price of gold. And they are determined to share skills. We live in one region. When we have a disaster, it affects us all. The earthquake that struck Haiti lies on the Plantain Garden Enriquillo fault line. Plantain Garden is in the eastern part of Jamaica, and Enriquillo is a lake in the Dominican Republic. When nature strikes, it does so without fear or without favor. And when we are responding, as we must do, to a situation of this kind, what we must be driven by is our common humanity.
I would like to reiterate what was said. It is really nice having you here. My question is politically inclined. I'm questioning the intellectual capacity of the politics of Haiti on getting this job done versus tradition and the heritage, because you said it will take time, and I don't know if you're speaking of time consuming time or time healing time. So that would be my question, because I'm thinking of what President Clinton has said, what he thinks the money should go to, and what would benefit the country. So intellectually, capacity, what do you think for politics?
Let's accept that a disaster of this magnitude can't be dealt with in an instant or by the waving of a magic wand. In Ashe, where disaster struck many years ago, that rebuilding process is still taking place. Nearer here, in New Orleans, with all the resources of money and skills available in the United States, the recovery of New Orleans is progressing, but it is not yet complete. The plan of which I made mention envisages certain phases. We have moved from the relief stage, we are now in the recovery stage. That recovery stage to trigger development is something that is going to be spread over a period of 5 years. the roads that have to be put in, the airports that have to be built in other parts of Haiti, the seaports that have to be developed to reduce the dependence on Port-au-Prince. All of these are going to take some time. As to intellectual capacity, I would simply say this. There's a government in Haiti at the present time chosen by the people of Haiti. Come November, elections are going to be taking place in Haiti to choose the leaders and the legislators for Haiti. Perhaps those who have misgivings about the intellectual capacity might make the biggest contribution if they're not prepared to offer themselves, certainly identifying people who they think have those skills and supporting them so that the people will select them to be in charge of the process of recovery and rebuilding. It's not for me to pass judgment on the people's choice.
I just want to say, most honorable P.J. Patterson, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to come here and serve. I'm Gibson Sylvester. I serve as president of Infinite Possibilities. And 5 days after the catastrophic quake in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, I found myself on a chartered plane there with 8 of my doctor friends and, you know, pulling bodies out of the rubble, and it was an amazing thing. We took 15 subsequent trips to Port-au-Prince. Now, my question is, as a regular small business owner, my question to you is, what are some practical ways we can get involved in concert with what you're doing in CARICOM? And also, as a small business owner, what is the most pressing need? Because we get faulty information from various sources, but right from the, you know, from the mouth of the source itself, what are some practical things? Most people here, I talked to a lot of people here in the lobby, they're small business owners. They're people that want to get involved. We all have busy lives, but what are some practical, simple things we can do to be a service to yourself?
Well, let's be clear. It's not service to me. It's, I am in the service of making my contribution to the helping of the rebuilding of Haiti. So, I don't think trying to suggest a checklist is going to be very helpful. Let us say, as I mentioned in my presentation, 70% of the loss was suffered by the private sector. And of that loss suffered by the private sector, 3/4 of it was for medium and small sized businesses, most of which are what you might call the informal sector. And you know, you're Haitian, you know, when you go to Haiti, when you move along the street, you see the informal sector at work. Although they are still there, they have suffered some loss. They're going to need, among other things, some access to credit. And one has to look at what they lost, how they're going to recoup it, but perhaps even more significant than that, how they're going to be placed on their 2 feet to be able to expand their business operations. A lot of organizations, some non-governmental organizations, some sister organizations within CARICOM like credit unions and so on, have been going in, meeting with the people, and not only dealing with credit, which is very necessary, but also with helping them to create a system of greater accountability and greater management. I would put it as starkly as this. There is no area that you can possibly think of where help is not required now. You find the area in which you think you can do most and get it done. And let us realize that although Port-au-Prince was the most severely damaged, perhaps the help that can be given in the economic recovery that will be most effective might be picking some other areas out of Port-au-Prince and beginning to develop them as centers of activity, which will discourage those who are there from seeking to move towards Port-au-Prince, but encourage other people, some of whom left Port-au-Prince to seek temporary shelter, to remain there and develop other centers of economic activity. Of course, you've got to put in the social supports that will be required for that. That is all part and parcel of the plan.
Thank you. One last question.
All right. Hello. Okay. Hi. I wanted to give you thanks as well for taking your time to educate us, especially when all we have is what we see in the media mostly, and we don't get the voice from the people that are actually doing things instead of just saying things. And at least in my perspective, I'm very grateful for that. But I just learned recently, I'm taking Professor Russell's class about Haitian history. And one of the things I learned was not more than 100 years ago, Haiti finished paying a debt that was owed to France of over 150 billion francs. And given the current situation, wouldn't it only be right to ask France to help in return?
Yes.
Okay, so we do have time for one more.
Thank you. Quick question. You mentioned about the plan for Haiti and the website. Can you please give us the website?
I don't. I'll try and get that information.
We will make sure that it's put on the
Yes,
African
yes.
website, the African Diaspora Studies website.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
The other question is the reconstruction in Haiti. There is a lot of reconstruction that's being done now at the outskirts of Haiti. How can one know about the bidding, the reconstruction? How can one get involved?
There is supposed to be one website where all the information about projects to be undertaken is to be placed, where the process for making bids is placed. I don't have here with me this evening the information as to the website. I certainly will make it available to the organizers of this meeting, including the FIU, and they can disseminate that information.
Okay.
I am going back home to Jamaica tomorrow.
Okay. Everyone wants pearls of wisdom from the Honorable P.J. Patterson, so I've been forced to offer one last question.
Thank you so much.
She was waiting before, I'm sorry.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Mr. Patterson, thank you so much for your words of wisdom. I'm a doctoral student at another university, unfortunately. And I learned so much from your presentation this evening. And my question is have you any plans to publish some of your presentation and speeches on college websites so that some of us who are going to be consultants or future politicians can learn from you?
My office has a website, certain in relation to Haiti, and all the speeches and presentations in relation to Haiti are on that website. Yes, I'm also involved in trying to do some writing of my memoirs. And,
Well, I'm sure we can go on all night long with such an engaging speaker, but we do need to wrap up the program, and I would like to introduce Dr. Donner Ware-Soley, who is an associate professor in the Department of English, who would like to say a few words.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. I know you will all join me once again on behalf of the African and Africa Diaspora Studies program in thanking our speaker for educating us about our debt to Haiti, reminding us of Haiti's brilliant and glorious history, which I must say, as a literature professor who cannot manage to hold on to my single copy of the Black Jacobins, because my students are constantly borrowing that book, and it's the last copy that I have because they've taken the rest of them. I have to thank you for educating us, because the students do need to be educated. There are lots of people out there who have no idea about Haiti's contribution to world history, and this is not passé. This is not information that is no longer necessary. This is information that is absolutely crucial to be disseminated, especially now when we're asking the world to come together to support Haiti in its recovery initiatives and in its developmental initiatives. The world also needs to understand why they need to help Haiti, why we owe Haiti as much as we do, if for nothing else than at least for the fact that they still stand. If we know the history of that very little island, we know that they still stand as an example that there is nothing more important, that people are willing to give their lives for freedom and justice. So I want to thank you so much for this lesson, for me, as well as for everybody who's in this room today. The Honorable P.J. Patterson, who, I am so honored to be here today to share this space with you and to gratefully acknowledge you for such a brilliant lecture on Haiti. I also am here on this occasion to thank our sponsors of this event. The gold sponsors are as follows: the Eric Williams Memorial Collection under the leadership of Miss Erica Williams from the University of the West Indies, Caribbean Consular Corps of Miami, Florida, and the Miami-Dade County Department of Cultural Affairs. Our Florida University, International University sponsors: Office of the Dean of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Kenneth Furton, School of International and Public Affairs, Dr. John Stack, Director, College of Law, Latin American and Caribbean Center, Ruth K. and Shepard Broad International Lecture Series, African and African Diaspora Studies Graduate Students Association, the Caribbean Students Association, the Council of Student Organizations, the Haitian Students Organization, the National Society of Black Engineers, and the Student Programming Council. Our corporate and community sponsors are as follows: Air Jamaica, Caribbean Airlines Limited, Angostura Limited, Arleanne and Glowar Singh, Miami-Dade College, Professor Leroy Lashley, Mike Simmons of Mike Golf, Inc., Emily Sabga, Linda Spears Bunton, Victoria Mutual, Florida, and the representative office. We want to thank all of our sponsors for their generous support and their continuous support of this, our Eric Williams Memorial Lecture. This is our 12th annual Memorial Lecture, and we want to thank all of you for coming out and joining us this evening. At this point, I'd like to bring up the members of the Haitian American Grassroots Council, a coalition, because I think they have something for Mr. Patterson. So are they here? Good.
Is Marlon Hills in the house? Marlon? No? Okay. The Honorable P.J. Patterson, thank you very much, and we welcome you in Miami. We, in the Haitian diaspora, we heard you tonight. The Haitian diaspora will be meeting in March at the Organization of American States. And the advice that you have provided tonight, we will be transmitting this message to the entire diaspora. We met in DC this year, March 21st, 23rd, in order to discuss collectively, reaching a consensus on what kind of Haiti that Haitian wants to build for themselves. As you mentioned before, between Haiti and Jamaica, there is a profound relationship between the two nations. From Bookman duty in 1789, 1791, to today, Haitians and Jamaicans, we basically are following a common destiny. In 2004, when the Haitian people needed help, when we were deeply in the political turmoil in the homeland, Jamaica provided safe haven to over 2,000 Haitian refugees. It was a difficult time in our nation's history. And even some of those refugees, they even were born in Jamaica. It should be a little girl now who was born in 2004 in the island, born out of Haitian refugees. But the fact that she was in there, we don't know if she's Jamaican or Haitian now, or she's Jamaican and Haitian. So without further ado, this is the award on behalf of the Haitian diaspora. Oh yes, I should read it? Okay, I'm sorry. Because we have time constraint here. Okay, yes, on behalf of the entire Haitian diaspora, we today, the Haitian American Grassroots Coalition, along with the Haitian leadership, the Haitian American leadership here in Miami, and also the diaspora, we present you this award. It's called the SAGC Award. Here we have some symbols of the seal of the Haitian American Grassroots Coalition, and also the CSO Civil Society Group in OAS. It reads, SAGC Award presented to Honorable Percival James Patterson, former Prime Minister of Jamaica, for your fervent commitment in advocating for a better integration of Haiti in CARICOM and being a reliable partner for Haiti and its people in challenging times. 12th Annual Florida International University, Eric Williams Memorial Lecture Series, FIU College of Law, Friday, October 15, 2010. Signed by the Chair and the Vice Chair.
I would also like to announce that there will be a book sale and a reception in the atrium right after this. But right now, I am going to call to the stage the former director of this program, who really doesn't need any introduction to the South Florida community, Dr. Carol Boyce Davies, who is the founder of the Eric Williams Memorial Lecture.
Good evening. I'm going to do the proper protocol, as I did not do that last night, but that was deliberate. Honorable P.J. Patterson, elected officials, members of CARICOM Consular Corps, FIU administrators, especially my favorite Dean Ken Furton, who I see sitting there, faculty, students, distinguished members of the community. The Eric Williams Memorial Lecture is a collaboration between two institutions, primarily the Eric Williams Memorial Collection at the University of the West Indies and the African and African Diaspora Studies program at FIU. Supportive community organizations identified in the program provide continued support. The intent at the founding of this lecture, was to create an institution of high intellectual caliber for the South Florida community. We have brought to you, following the legacy of Dr. Eric Williams, a range of the best politicians, historians, activists, ranging from the beginning lecture with John Hope Franklin through our speaker for today, the Honorable P.J. Patterson, who clearly meets the mark and tops it, as you can tell. We have been successful in delivering this lecture, and as demonstration of this, it has lasted for now 12 years. And you can tell from this evening's event that there was standing room only. It is not easy to keep and build institutions and maintain their excellence. Often they are subject to the vagaries of changes of leadership, but this lecture has survived at least 2 major leadership changes in the African Diaspora Studies program, and at least as well in the institution's presidency. But at each change, the level of community support, as well as the institutions at the highest levels, and the determination and hard work of Erica Williams Cornell has ensured its transcendence to newer and higher heights at each time. As the founding director at the institution of this lecture, we ask, therefore, your continued support, not just by attendance, but also by financial means, ranging from the Barack Obama model of $5, sometimes fundraising, every $5 counts, to much larger donations as well. All communities support their institutions, but it is often hard for African American and Caribbean communities to see that this support is crucial. We should not be known for just supporting carnivals, but we do. But we are also intellectuals, and we support intellectual activity as well, with a strong Caribbean radical intellectual tradition to which Eric Williams is one of the leading members and figures. But we want to ensure that the Eric Williams Memorial Lecture is endowed. This is where you can help and contribute tax-deductible donations. We ask you, therefore, to pull out your envelopes that came with your program and use these to include your contributions. There will be a convenient location of ushers in the aisles with whom you can deposit these checks or cash as you desire. And you can also mail back to us if you would like to do that. So I was also asked at this point to ask you to complete these pledge cards. The check should be made payable to FIU. In the memo portion of the lecture, please write FBO for the benefit of the Eric Williams Lecture. As I said, donations are tax deductible. We also want to urge you to buy DVDs of prior lectures to benefit the lecture series available in the atrium. Forms are available at book tables, and please complete them fully and nicely. We also invite you to a reception and book sale in the atrium. I was told that Wallace Tinney has to give something as well, so I therefore call you. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Wallace Tinney from the City of Miami Protocol Office, and I'm here on behalf of Mayor Tomas Regalado. Mayor Regalado was unfortunately unable to be here this evening, but he wanted to make a presentation to the most honorable P.J. Patterson because he is so proud of what has been going on in terms of working with both the Haitian community in the city of Miami and the Jamaican community. and he wanted to be here himself to make this presentation of the key to the city. It was a Renaissance city for a Renaissance man.